Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns, and today we're going to do number 21. We're going to be working on these little ornaments down here. Get you all zoomed in. Okay, so I think for today I am going to do a blue with white polka dot, a green with white stripe, and a red with white stripe. So we're going to be using all of our regular colors we've been using. So pale sage, sap green light, Kelly green, Prussian green. We're going to use periwinkle and indigo blue, powder blue, and then for our red, Scarlet Lake, Crimson Lake, and espresso. Okay, so those are the colors that I plan on using. Oh, and 10% cool gray and potentially that slate gray. So those would be the ones I would have on hand. And then a Posca pen, gel pen of your choosing. Okay, so I'm going to start with this blue one. And what I want to do here is, because I'm going to use Posca, I'm not worried about the dots right now. Okay, but I want to put in my highlights. So I'm going to have a highlight here and one here. Then I'm going to take a little bit, did I even say white? Probably not. But just a little bit of white in those, right? Okay. Next up, we're going to go in with our periwinkle, and we're going to color the rest of our ornament. Just a nice light layer. We don't have to get crazy. Don't have to go dark. But because Posca will cover everything, now I'm not going over our highlight. I'm just going around it. Okay. Now, the bigger the contrast, the more of a highlight this is going to be, right? So, I don't want to get too crazy because we didn't get like super dark with these blues, right? So I don't want to get too dark. So what I think I'm going to do is, let's try this slate gray. Just to deepen up our periwinkle, right? So once again, keeping a light layer, not going over our highlight. And do you see how those are starting to look more like highlights now? Because we have a little more contrast. Now, we're going to go in with another light layer of periwinkle, because I want it to be more blue than gray. Okay. Now, at this point, I am going to blend out what we have with our powder blue. This is a light layer. I am not burnishing down because I wasn't sure on this paper what kind of color we were going to get. But I think this is just fine. Okay. And then a little bit more periwinkle. I want it along these edges here. Yeah, just kind of cover everything again with periwinkle. Okay, we'll do all the Posca at the end. Don't rub your hand, Wendy. because then you have to use an eraser. Don't do what I do. I try and always kind of keep that stuff in. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you like that? I always kind of like when I see an artist make a mistake or see, you know, a content creator make a mistake and then fix it, because not only do I see how they fix it, but it also makes me feel a little better that other people make mistakes too. Because don't you sometimes feel like all you see is the edited version of the world, whether it be YouTube or whatever, and it's just, you're just like, well, how come my life isn't like that? Well, I'm here to make you all feel better about yourselves. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm not worried about these stripes, so I'm going to put my highlight in here and here. Now you can put them wherever you want. I'm using the pale sage to do that. Then I'm going to go in with the sap green, and I'm going to kind of go like around them, right? Because I have more colors available, I can do this, whereas my blues, I really didn't, right? I didn't want to bring in, I thought about bringing in indigo, and I felt like it might have been a little too much. Okay, next step is the Kelly green. Now watch as I add this color, what it does to my highlights. The highlights are kind of blending in right now, but they're starting to take a little bit of definition. Okay, next up is Prussian green. Now this one, don't go crazy. I'm sticking a little more to the outsides, but I do want to bring it in here. Okay, back with our Kelly green. This is where you can really define your highlights if they're a little wonky. Wonky's fine. Highlights are not, they're not going to be uniform. So if you feel like this is too uniform, you can change that up a little, right? Okay. Now at this point you want to start getting rid of the white dots. Okay, Kelly green. To get rid of these in the middle. Okay, a little bit of sap green. Okay, and then we'll put our white on when we're done, right? I'm going to take my eraser and just get a little bit where I went out of the line. Okay. All right, next step is our reds. I'm going to go in with my espresso. Now I am going to make this one red, and I'm going to put a little bit right here. Okay? Like a pretendy one right there. Now this espresso, I'm going to go down a little bit up here, not too far, and even less here on the bottom. I want this one to go just a little more. Okay, now a little bit up there in that top, and just a hint here. Okay, now what I want is I want to draw in my highlight. So I'm going to get a good point on my pencil and I'm going to draw in a little square there. Okay. Okay. I'm going to draw in a skinny highlight right here. And then just a little one right here. Okay. All right. I use Scarlet Lake for that. So now I'm going to go in with Crimson Lake. And I'm going to cover that espresso. Bring it down a little bit. Okay. A little bit down here at the bottom. Okay. Next are Scarlet Lake. Okay. And then we're just going to play with that a little bit. So back in with Crimson Lake, getting rid of our white dots, right? Kind of going down a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Next up, we're going to do our white. Now I'm going to take that 10% cool gray and I am going to pencil in just a little highlight there. I can always make this smaller as I go. Now, what's my advice, guys? Do the right first, right? Did I follow my advice? Am I regretting it? No, I didn't follow it. Yes, I'm regretting it. It is so easy to pull those reds in. Okay? Now, go in with your white. Double check that your white is clean of color. And blend. Try not to go into your red. Very hard to do. Okay, next I'm going to take a little bit of this blue slate and kissing the paper. So light. So light. Just bringing a little bit of that in. Okay, just ever so little. Next up, clean your 10% cool gray and blend it. Make sure if you get the flakes that you use your floofer. Okay? Then you can go in with your white again. Here and here. That just adds a little bit of dimension. Okay? Just now on this one, we could bring in just a little bit of this sap green light. Okay, and then blend it with your white. Make sure your white's clean. Okay, that just gives the ball a little bit of dimension. Now, I'm too lazy to go get my smaller Posca. Okay, feel free to use a smaller one. But I'm going to fill in our dots here. Okay, now, do you see how your highlight, or how my highlight doesn't look as great now? I'm going to fix that, but I'm going to let this Posca dry, okay? Here, I'm going to add my Posca here, a little bit there, a little there, a little there, a little there. Okay? Here, I'm going to add lots of dots along the line, because I want it to look, you know, kind of flocked. You know what I mean by that? Hope so. You know, like fake snow, kind of. Don't be thinking naughty. I wasn't pretend cussing. When I do it, I do the real thing. Okay. My goal is kind of to cover those lines, but have it be kind of irregular shaped. Okay. All right. So now let's go in with our powder blue. We're going to go right along our dot there a little bit, and very lightly go over our highlight. Okay. Maybe with a little bit of that slate. My circles are a little not circly. Okay, and then I kind of messed up my dot there. Okay. Now, if your highlights look off, fix them. I like my highlights to look squared. Does that make sense? So not like circularly. Here we can add a little bit of our 10% to make our highlights stand out a little bit. Okay. Little bit of espresso. Okay. I like that. Okay, next up, we're going to go in with our cream. We're going to go over all of this. Okay. Little bit of sand on one side. Okay. And a little bit, just a little line of espresso. Try not to go out of the, you know, the lines. Okay, and then our pit pen. Okay. Now, if you think this blue one needs a little more shadowing, we can come in with just a little bit of espresso. And then back over it with the periwinkle. Right, just to add a little dimension, we can do that here. All right, that's it, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy coloring! Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you enjoy adult coloring content, please consider subscribing. You can now find me on Instagram and Facebook as well. I welcome all comments and suggestions. Don't forget to like the video before you go. And until next time, take care.